assessment ng tatlong regions ay so far so good. We hope with meron pa rin mga minimal na mga incidents involving yung mga gamit, yung nabanggit kanina na VCMs na mga for replacement. But really these are just minor. But the general peace and order situation sa handang ng election is generally peaceful. Thank you.
Assessment din sa area.
As far as security assessment, so far wala namang major incident. Hindi peaceful sa buong region, 7. Hopefully, magtuloy-tuloy ito up to closure ng pagkasara ng voting at 6 o'clock or meron pang natitira sa voting center. Magtuloy-tuloy lang. Walang incident na yan. So, still monitoring ang activities.
Okay, sir. RD?
Yes, ma'am.
Ang last na press conference, RD, mga 7 or?
7, masyado sa iyo.
Like,
mga 8 o'clock, diba? 8 to 8:30 para makita nato kung unsay man, kung saan nag-close na ba sila, diba? Para makonsolidate po na mo ang report para mapanato. Okay sa iyo. Diba? Para hindi tayo alanganin. Okay? Anything more? Thank you very much. Ano to? Ladies and gentlemen, ang average briefing is 8:30 siguro. Nag-close na itong mga voting sessions. Okay? If you have other issues to tackle, you could verify it with our so with that, thank you very much. I'm a point like that.
INE operations for hours, that is 121.
Uli akin na yung pagkita para po sila.
Sa bansang may kalayaan, may kapayapaan, may malayang halalan.
Eleksyon na sa May 13, 2019. Mula 6 a.m. hanggang 6 p.m. ang botohan. Ang mga rehistradong botante ay boboto ng 12 senador at isang party list para sa national positions at isang miyembro ng House of Representatives, Governor, Vice Governor, Mayor, Vice Mayor at mga miyembro ng sangguniang panlalawigan, panlungsod at bayan para sa local positions. At bilang isang botante, ang pagboto ay dapat nating paghandaan. Narito ang gabay para sa tamang pagboto.
Bago pa man dumating ang araw ng eleksyon, pag-isipang mabuti ang mga kandidatong nais iboto. Mainam na gumawa na ng listahan ng mga iboboto. Para sa maalam na pagdedesisyon, alamin ang plataporma, track record, background, paninindigan sa mga issue at iba pang mahalagang impormasyon ukol sa mga kandidato. Sa araw ng eleksyon, pumunta sa iyong polling place. Mabuting magdala ng anumang valid ID. Hanapin ang inyong pangalan sa listahan ng botanteng nakapaskil at tandaan ang inyong precinct number at sequence number sa listahan. Lumapit sa electoral board at sabihin ang inyong pangalan, precinct number at sequence number. Sisiguraduhin ng electoral board ang inyong pagkakakilanlan gamit ang EDCVL o Election Day Computerized Voters List o sa pamamagitan ng Voter Registration Verification Machine o VRVM na gagamitin naman sa ilang mga piling lugar. Matapos masiguro ang iyong pagkakakilanlan at walang nakitang anumang marka ng indelible ink ang inyong mga kuko, bibigyan kayo ng isang balota. Suriin ang balota para masiguro na wala itong anumang marka o shade liban lamang sa pirma ng Electoral Board Chairperson.
Gamit ang marking pen, i-shade ng buo ang bilog sa tabi ng pangalan ng kandidatong iyong napili. Huwag mag-overvote o mag-shade ng lagpas sa dami ng kandidatong dapat iboto sa bawat posisyon.
Ipasok ang inyong balota sa VCM o Vote Counting Machine at pagkatapos, ibalik ang marking pen at ballot secrecy folder. Ipoproseso ng VCM ang inyong balota at makakast na ang inyong boto. Pagkatapos, Magpiprint na ng voting receipt ang DCM kung saan nakasulat ang inyong mga binoto. Ang resibo ay itutupi ng Electoral Board at gugupitin. Bago ibigay ang resibo, lalagyan ng indelible ink ang kuko ng inyong kanang hintuturo. Suriin ang inyong voting receipt at pagkatapos ay ihulog ito sa nakatakdang lagayan at saka lumabas na ng polling place. Tandaan, bawal ilabas, iuwi at kuhanan ng litrato ang resibo.
Simple, madali. Kaya sa May 13, 2019, sumama sa pagdesisyon para sa bayan sa pamamagitan ng pagboto. Dahil ikaw, ako at bawat botanteng Pilipino ay bahagi ng malayang bayan, malayang halalan.
Isang paalala mula sa COMELEC Voter Education Committee at ng himpilang ito.
Sa bansang may kalayaan, may kapayapaan, may malayang halalan.
Do not sell your vote. Do not vote for candidates using guns, goons, golds, and glitter. Do not vote for candidates tainted with graft and corruption. Do not vote for candidates simply because of utang na loob, popularity, good looks, or pakikisama. Do not vote for candidates living an immoral life. Always put the welfare of the country as top priority in choosing the candidates you will vote for. The Catholic Church remains a non-partisan body in the midterm elections. Cebu Archbishop Jose Palma said the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, or CBCP, does not endorse any electoral candidate. The Catholic Church role is to give guidelines to the voters. The Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting released its guidelines for responsible voting. Vote according to the dictates of your conscience. Respect the decision of others in choosing their candidates. Seek to know the moral integrity, capabilities, and other personal qualities of the candidates you will vote for. Strive to understand the issues, platform, and programs of candidates and parties campaigning for your vote. Do not sell your vote. Do not vote for candidates using guns, goons, golds, and glitter. Do not vote for candidates tainted with graft and corruption. Do not vote for candidates simply because of utang na loob, popularity, good looks, or pakikisama. Do not vote for candidates living an immoral life. Always put the welfare of the country as top priority in choosing the candidates you will vote for. The Catholic Church remains a non-partisan body in the midterm elections. Cebu Archbishop Jose Palma said the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, or CBCP, does not endorse any electoral candidate. The Catholic Church role is to give guidelines to the voters. The Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting released its guidelines for responsible voting. Vote according to the dictates of your conscience. Respect the decision of others in choosing their candidates. Seek to know the moral integrity, capabilities, and other personal qualities of the candidates you will vote for. Strive to understand the issues, platform, and programs of candidates and parties campaigning for your vote. Do not sell your vote. Do not vote for candidates using guns, goons, golds, and glitter. Do not vote for candidates tainted with graft and corruption. Do not vote for candidates simply because of utang na loob, popularity, good looks, or pakikisama. Do not vote for candidates living an immoral life. Always put the welfare of the country as top priority in choosing the candidates you will vote for. The Catholic Church remains a non-partisan body in the midterm elections. Cebu Archbishop Jose Palma said the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, or CBCP, does not endorse any electoral candidate. The Catholic Church role is to give guidelines to the voters. The Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting released its guidelines for responsible voting. Vote according to the dictates of your conscience. Respect the decision of others in choosing their candidates. Seek to know the moral integrity, capabilities, and other personal qualities of the candidates you will vote for. Strive to understand the issues, platform and programs of candidates and parties campaigning for your vote. Do not sell your vote. Do not vote for candidates using guns, goons, golds, and glitter. Do not vote for candidates tainted with graft and corruption. Do not vote for candidates simply because of utang na loob, popularity, good looks, or pakikisama. Do not vote for candidates living an immoral life. Always put the welfare of the country as top priority in choosing the candidates you will vote for.
Hello everybody and welcome to Sunstar's Elections 2019 coverage.
Wherever you guys are watching from, please let us know in the comments. So for today, we have one of our youth audience in with us today to talk about what their perception of the elections are, maybe what they hope for the future, and we'll see how it goes. So this is Nessie.
Hi Nessie.
Hi.
Thank you for dropping by the studio.
It's no problem.
So reminder everyone, we will be interviewing 4 of our how do we say is mga youth, mga batanon nga kanang na sila mga opinion regarding the elections 2019 kay kibaw mo ang elections dili lang na para sa mga katigulangan, syempre para sa ni sa mga ato mga batanon. So kanang mga batanon karon who's watching this stream right now, tag your friends, let us know, comment on the section below kamusta inyong voting,
how the process was.
Yeah, how the process was. Do you have any suggestions nga mas arang-arang 3 years the next elections from now? By the way, if I may share, Ness, did you know that I was actually in my precinct this morning? I lined up, but wa pa nahuman ang line.
Why?
So after
Wow.
the line was really long.
Huh?
I don't know if it's the
Grabe,
same with you guys there. Comment lang mo pa rin yung experience, but for me, I lined up 12 na. Siguro mga 3 hours.
Wow.
And I'm not done yet, so I had to be here in the studio. And then after this interview, I'll go back to my precinct and vote.
I love your dedication to this.
Thank you very much.
On my end naman, I was there for just an hour, and then after me, kay wala na ang linya. Like, it was empty.
I see.
So I guess it's all like luck, diba?
Yeah.
So anyway, why don't we start by asking you about like who you are? What are you?
So who are you?
Who are you? Why are you here? To joke lang. But bitaw, like, what's your name? What do you do? What are your interests? So that we can let our audience get to know who you are.
Well, I'm Nessie. I'm a 16-year-old high school student, and I was previously active in my student council, so I'm kind of familiar with this general scope. I'm also a very active debater, and I also like play sports. I'm an athlete as well.
Wow. So that involves a lot of like leadership and personal integrity, right? So I'm pretty sure you're into the whole leadership spectrum, obviously, since you're into the student council stuff. So how do you feel about the elections this year? Or what's your perception about elections in general?
Well, I just feel like, at least towards election period, it's just a big mess.
Right? Yeah.
Why is that? What do you
Tell us about that.
I think, well, especially with like the Philippine context, it's very, let's say there's not so much integrity involved a lot of the time. Like, there's vote buying, or, you know, we have a lot of voters who who don't really care about politics because a lot of them feel like it doesn't involve them.
That's true. That's true. I mean, okay, so did you happen on your way here, did you happen to see like any of the voting areas or like the state of it? Did you pass by any of them?
Well, I was outside for a while, but I didn't really see the inside, so I don't really know.
Okay, so like based on the outside, what do you think? What are your opinions on it? Like, what's the state of it, or what were your observations?
Well, I just think not a lot of people really come to vote. Like, not as much as you would expect based on like our population.
Okay.
Okay, so you did mention you're 16 years old, right?
Yeah.
So you could be, I think you are the youngest, am I correct? The
Yes.
youngest guest for this
you?
segment?
No.
Or no, you're not.
There's
Okay,
another.
pero
One
you
of our younger
belong-
guests.
You belong to the non-voting population? Alright, so Ness, from your young mind, unsa man, can you suggest something for our viewers who are 18 bang voting age na, I believe?
I think.
So, the non-voting chunk of the population from a young person. So, from an idealistic point of view, what do you think can young people do to contribute to a better elections?
I think it's all about engaging, like
Alright.
engaging in discourse, because when you don't really have the power to vote, at times you want to, like, it's easier for us to see like a greater perspective if you really try to dive into it. So I think the first thing is to engage and also share our opinions, because I feel like that's important for young people when they
Right.
can't vote. But more importantly, I also mean like engaging in activities, because there are a lot of projects and organizations here in Cebu that really help empower the youth to create better communities,
Right.
regardless of whether or not they can vote.
And regarding the first part, it is easy these days to present an opinion with online, with the internet,
Yeah, that's
with
true.
social
Very
media.
true. It's like
Right?
anarchy there. Like,
No, but
everyone can-
seriously, people gravitate
Yeah.
toward a sensible point.
Yeah,
So
that's true,
If you are,
that's true.
if you share something online that's worth reading, that's worth reacting to or sharing, then you may have played your part in nation building
That's
through the internet.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
And also,
did you try something like that? Did you post some long status or
are you
vote for this person? Because what's your experience online so far, Ness?
Personally, I'm not the type to post long posts, because I feel like if you post long posts, people just skip over them. So it's more of for me, I don't prefer to post like just for anyone to see. I like to discuss it with people I have personal interactions with, because they're more likely to respect your opinion, even if it's like a different opinion, because they know you.
That's very wise of you, child. Bitaw, but we really should. I think that the whole reason that we're having this today is because a lot of people tend to skip over like, oh, okay, they're non-voters, they're like non-entities. But these people, these young people, are gonna be the future of like our society, right? So as much as possible, it'll be good to engage them and keep them informed and also part of the conversation. So with that, how important do you think like the youth is in like nation building?
I think they're really important, even if they're like a smaller percentage of the population. I just think that because we're the ones who will be, greatly affected, because we're the ones who are more likely to live to see the future. Sorry.
That's true though, but like,
well, I think it's because with our idealistic perspective.
You just made Rizal proud. Right? Making Rizal proud, yeah.
Well, I think because we're not weighed down by, I don't know, the past or
No,
history.
but seriously, I think the youth, you need fresh blood. In a generation, people tend to grow old, grow jaded, become jaded, and they lose their sense of wonder, and that's where the youth come in, right? Regarding that, so okay, Ness, you're a non-voter, but you have ideals in your head. Now, without saying any candidates' names, right? Do you have like your vote? Like, do you have a sample ballot in your head?
yeah, like if
do
you were a voter
Yeah,
today.
if you were a voter, like I'd vote for this guy, that girl.
Kind of. I mean, for some positions, others I'm still not
Sige,
sure.
so take me to the mind of a young voter, a would-be voter rather. What are the qualities you look for in these leaders?
I think the main quality I'd look for is for the leader to have an open mind.
Alright.
Because I think with like times constantly changing, with media now, you really see the different points of view of a lot of different people. So because you can hear the voices of a lot more people, they should also be open to listening to these people as well. And I think it's not just about listening to the voters, but also listening to other candidates, listening to other politicians. Because I think it shouldn't just be about keeping an open mind to the voters and appealing to them, but also just, even if you have a political rival, or if they have a political rival, they should be able to keep an open mind for what these rivals might have, like, if they have like good projects that you could also carry on.
Yeah, in today's midterm elections, can you spot a few candidates who possess that open-mindedness? Without saying any names, but
Yeah.
can you think of people ngayon, Ana? Local, local and national.
Local, I'm not so sure, but national.
National,
Yes.
there are a few.
There are a few.
So if you want to share, is there like a key issue for you, Nessie? You feel like, okay, these leaders should think about this issue,
Mm.
a primary issue that you think needs to be addressed ASAP.
It's hard. There are a lot.
All right.
There are a lot.
True.
I think, well, it's starting to be addressed. I think it's the whole thing about education.
Right.
Because, apart from it affecting everyone's lives individually, I think it just makes a general impact on, the whole, country.
Yeah,
Right? Creating professionals who can contribute to the economy, or also just having more people to be able to provide goods and services
Yeah.
for, everyone.
In fact, the whole process of voting is attached to the very concept of education.
Exactly.
Imagine, voters vote, and then if a big chunk of these people are do not have the cannot comprehend,
That's true, or they're not as informed.
Yes,
It's
it's going to be hard.
it's gonna be
hard.
either
And
it's hard for them to vote, and that's also kind of, I guess, one of the issues that leads to the whole maybe vote buying, because there's indifference when you're not informed, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. By the way, guys, if you just tuned in, once again, welcome to Sunstar's Elections 2019 coverage. So we're taking a little break from the live reporting on field, and we are here live in the studio as we have 4 young guests, and we will be talking about their opinions,
Their thought
their
process,
thoughts
everything.
on the whole elections.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, we have a very special guest with us, Nessie. Hello, once again.
Hi.
And my name's Luis, by the way.
I'm Nini.
And if you are watching from wherever you are right now, on your mobile devices and all that, feel free to react, to leave a comment on the section below, and share this live stream to your friends online so that you can also chime in and share your opinions as well on the comment section.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Ness, quality of a good leader, you mentioned a few minutes ago about open-mindedness. Was it Gandhi? Correct me if I'm wrong. Diba? Someone smart said change starts with us. It's a very common
Yeah,
cliche.
it's a very common cliche, but
Yeah.
it's
Pero it's true.
It's
Right?
relevant.
now.
So, ikaw, Ness, what do you think are things that we can improve on as individuals?
Bitaw.
Yeah. Not necessarily in the voting.
Yeah, but just as citizens,
Yeah, yeah.
how we conduct ourselves as citizens, or even you as a part of the youth.
For me, I think what all of us need to improve on is just listening and understanding each other. Because I feel like the reason why there's, we don't really agree on things, the reason why there are a lot of conflicts, whether it be at home or at work or elections, is because we don't try to properly listen to people's point of views or, what they might be going through. Because, you never know. If you really try to listen instead of trying to just talk back, we might be able to solve more problems than we are currently solving.
Huh.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. That
It's the anti the anti solution to a very opinionated world, because we're also opinionated these days, especially
true.
with the advent of internet.
internet,
So everybody
social
thinks-
media, everyone has an opinion. Everyone's
Right,
entitled to an opinion, and
So-
yeah.
What
What?
was that
This
synchronized?
happens a lot, guys.
Okay, so Nessie, you think communication plays a whole, if you, the listening part is a big
Yeah.
nation-changing thing for you?
Yes.
Right. That is very nice to hear.
Yeah, so are you excited? When are you? You're 16, so you'll be voting in 2 years.
Oh, you're right.
Right?
Yeah. So next
Right?
elections, I think.
Are you
Yeah.
excited to...
Well, I think it'll stress me out a lot, but I'm excited.
Okay, why? Why will it stress you out a lot? Why
I-
do you think?
Because, I think especially with Philippine politics, sometimes it's not that one candidate is good, but normally that one candidate is the lesser evil.
Yeah.
So it's a bit
Yeah,
hard.
but you know what? If just to ramp things up, let me share my experience. During my first time in voting, with voting, it was hassle siya gamay because you know the logistics of it all. Number one, so we haven't really figured out a perfect logistic na kanang stress-free and the lines are quick and all that. But as soon as I like voted, when I submitted my ballot and all, I feel like, oh my, I'm like a legit Filipino. Right?
Yeah, you're part of
that
society.
feeling, there's that empowerment now. I have my say. So
That's true, that's true.
So whoever you are in the office, you know, make stuff better for us here down in Cebu or whatever. Pero yeah, thank you.
Thank you so
very
much for
Thank you, Nessie, for sharing your time with us and sharing your thoughts with the globe,
Yeah,
to the internet. So our next guest is
Joe.
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 And you will be hearing more from Joe. We will be asking
Another
him,
teenager.
Yeah,
We'll be hearing-
younger than Nessie, as Nessie just mentioned. We will confirm it later with Joe himself. So
Stick around, guys.
Sunstar's Elections 2019 coverage is brought to you by Chubi Chubi, the freshest seafood made affordable. Lingaw Lingaw, Kaon. Le Mineral, taste the freshness of mountain mineral water. Mang Inasal, sob sa sarap, sob sa saya. Cebu Cardinal Bake Shop. Ashley and Bill's Sweets and Garden. For inquiries, please call 032-487-7399 or 0945-623-1850. Metro, there's something for you at the Metro. Sunstar's Elections 2019 coverage is brought to you by Chubi Chubi, the freshest seafood made affordable. Lingaw Lingaw, Kaon. Le Mineral, taste the freshness of mountain mineral water. Mang Inasal, sob sa sarap, sob sa saya. Cebu Cardinal Bake Shop. Ashley and Bill's Sweets and Garden. For inquiries, please call 032-487-7399 or 0945-623-1850. Metro, there's something for you at the Metro. Sunstar's Elections 2019 coverage is brought to you by Chubi Chubi, the freshest seafood made affordable. Lingaw Lingaw, Kaon. Le Mineral, taste the freshness of mountain mineral water. Mang Inasal, sob sa sarap, sob sa saya. Cebu Cardinal Bake Shop. Ashley and Bill's Sweets and Garden. For inquiries, please call 032-487-7399 or 0945-623-1850. Metro, there's something for you at the Metro. Sunstar's Elections 2019 coverage is brought to you by Chubi Chubi, the freshest seafood made affordable. Lingaw Lingaw, Kaon. Le Mineral, taste the freshness of mountain mineral water. Mang Inasal, sob sa sarap, sob sa saya. Cebu Cardinal Bake Shop. Ashley and Bill's Sweets and Garden. For inquiries, please call 032-487-7399 or 0945-623-1850. Metro, there's something for you at the Metro. Sunstar's Elections 2019 coverage is brought to you by Chubi Chubi, the freshest seafood made affordable. Lingaw Lingaw, Kaon. Le Mineral, taste the freshness of mountain mineral water. Mang Inasal, sob sa sarap, sob sa saya. Cebu Cardinal Bake Shop. Ashley and Bill's Sweets and Garden. For inquiries, please call 032-487-7399 or 0945-623-1850. Metro, there's something for you at the Metro. Sunstar's Elections 2019 coverage is brought to you by Chubi Chubi, the freshest seafood made affordable. Lingaw Lingaw, Kaon. Le Mineral, taste the freshness of mountain mineral water. Mang Inasal, sob sa sarap, sob sa saya. Cebu Cardinal Bake Shop. Ashley and Bill's Sweets and Garden. For inquiries, please call 032-487-7399 or 0945-623-1850. Metro. There's something for you at the Metro. Sunstar's Elections 2019 coverage is brought to you by Chubi Chubi, the freshest seafood made affordable. Lingaw-lingaw, kaon. Le Mineral. Taste the freshness of mountain mineral water. Mang Inasal. Solve sa sarap, solve sa saya. Cebu Cardinal Bake Shop. Ashley and Bill's Sweets and Garden. For inquiries, please call 032-487-7399 or 0945-623-1850. Metro. There's something for you at the Metro. Sunstar's Elections 2019.
Hey guys, and welcome to Sunstar's election coverage 2019.
Yep.
I am Nini.
My name's Luis.
And today we have our guest, Joe. Woo! So wherever you guys are watching from, please comment below and let us know if you have any questions, any comments, and share this link, most importantly, so that everyone will know what's happening in today's elections.
And if you tuned in a few minutes ago, we just had our first guest, si Nessie. Now we have with us a good friend niya, si Joe.
Yet another part of the youth.
So Joe, first question, who's the younger one, si Nessie or ikaw?
I'm the younger one actually.
By how many years?
By 1 year, we're just one batch apart.
Okay, so Joe, tell us about yourself, like what you like to do, what are your interests, so that everyone will get to know you.
Oh, basically, like I like working, but my specific field of work, I know, but like my specific field of work is like those kinds of leadership positions, like you know, like in student council or in the Boy Scouts. I like serving. And that's basically like it's me. It's just me.
Okay, so you're giving off that vibe that you're going to run for the next elections? Are you
Oh, maybe.
maybe. Do you have your eyes set on a particular position, like mayor? Mayor Joe, will we see Mayor Joe 2022 or something?
Let's hope not.
Pero Joe, so like Nessie, we talked earlier. See, Nessie belongs to a demographic who are not able to vote yet. Alright? But that doesn't mean that the youth are entirely useless when it comes to the elections.
Yes.
So Joe, if you want to share your thoughts, how do you think kaning mga youth can contribute
to the elections?
Yeah, to the elections.
Yeah, you know, there's like a stigma that goes on. They're like, sus, mga bata mo, pabulitika dira, uy, dakan kay mo, musulti ana, dakan kay musulti ana. Yeah. Yeah. What I would like to say lang, like, honestly lang,
Bitaw.
kami ang stakeholder ana. Kanang mga politika nimo, karon mo apekto dyan na sa amo ang kinabukasan. Di ba?
Bitaw.
Inana Roman, kay daghan ba kayo tagkuan?
This is exactly what happened with Brexit.
Brexit, yeah.
So that's the whole. If you guys if you followed the news about Brexit, I think there was this whole clash, old people and the young people, because the old people voted for something that the young people did not want. So there's that dynamic. There's that dynamic when it comes to the voting. Pero okay. So, but how do you express? Sige, let's talk Joe. Let's not talk about other youth. Ikaw, Joe, what do you do to contribute sa elections?
Like social
Or how do you
media,
do
or
it?
do you
Yeah.
campaign yourself?
Oh no, I don't campaign myself, but like, as much as possible, like I'd like to like be involved. Like let's say if there's a candidate which I support, which I think has good policies, of course I'm gonna try my best to advocate for this candidate, like using the power of social media or any means necessary. Right?
Any means necessary.
He just went John Wick right there.
John Wick.
Vote for this guy. I'm joking, ha?
Guys, this is just all fun. A break
This is
from
like
today's
the fun
election.
part of Sunstar, right?
Yeah,
When you
this is-
see our faces, it's not credible. No, just
Welcome to the youth section, guys. Anyway, so okay, so elections, right?
Yeah.
You are not a part of elections itself, but what about your perception? What do you think about elections in general? Like, is it important? Is it relevant these days? Or like, is there a process that you don't like about it? What are the aspects that like you think about?
to me, the answer is very obvious. Elections are a very important part of how a nation works because they basically define what a democracy is or who the people will be, like who the next leaders will be. And that's why people should take elections more seriously. That's why they should really take into heart who they're going to vote for, not just because of any Buduts commercial, diba? Diba?
Right. I am aware that there's such a commercial.
Very good commercial. There's a lot of memes
catchy.
about it, yeah.
Pero there's this netizen right now, si Cecilia Vergara Blansky, full name, right? So Cecilia says, please choose the rightful one for our country's future and the youth. God bless the Philippines. Right. That's what we're that's what we're talking about right
Exactly,
now.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
the classic cliche goes na vote wisely.
Yeah.
Vote wisely. So Joe, what do you think when it comes to leader? Unsa may rightful? Like how do
we
what constitutes
A
perfect
good
leader?
leader.
A good leader, not perfect.
Nobody's perfect, but
Pero
yeah,
a
a good leader. What are the qualities?
If I could summarize like the best quality that I'd really see in a good leader, it would be just one word, just integrity. Like we don't need perfection from leaders. We don't need them to always act like they're the best all the time. Integrity means to stand up for the people that you serve, but it also at the same time to admit for the mistakes that you may have done.
Yeah, Joe, let's nitpick a bit. When you say integrity, how do we know that someone's integrity? How do we know someone's how do you say
integrity?
Yeah. How do we know
How do
someone's
you
that?
Yeah, define that someone has
Karon
integrity.
man God, we're in the age of social media branding, right? You can just take a picture here and a selfie there, look beautiful, look pretty, look handsome, look dashing.
Have a nice like little status that
Yeah,
goes
you can
with
say
it.
I
and-
voted, but did you really? Diba? So integrity is it's a questionable thing. It's hard to discern what is.
It's hard to know who really is integrity.
So
who really
how would you discern? Ikaw as a young
Ako-
would-be voter.
I'd really like it isn't a burden to just do a little more research than you'd usually like.
Okay.
I don't think like us people we should like just stay in the shallow level like in social media. I think it doesn't help. It's not bad to research at least a bit more about who our leaders are and check their records ba.
So you mean like when it comes to voting wisely, you have to have due diligence.
Yeah, due diligence.
Yeah.
Know who you're voting for.
That's true. All right. So, okay, what other steps apart from like doing research and everything? What are other ways that maybe like voters can conduct themselves rightly? Like in terms of like let's say social media. What do you think?
I think one thing that voters like especially on social media need to do is to stop the propagation of fake news. Like that's a big thing right now. And I think that's what made candidates win.
There was this country or state, I forgot, maybe you read about it na nipasog law na illegal fake news.
That's Singapore.
Singapore.
If I remember, yeah.
Singapore just recently passed some law ngayon na. So that would probably help. Right, sa atong situation, no? Because people are abusing the liberty of the internet and they're posting all sorts of stuff na misleading na and somehow already affects the nation.
Yeah,
some way.
it will affect the nation because lies don't help anyone, especially politics.
Pero Joe, like, okay, let's say you were voting this year without naming any names.
Okay.
Do you have like a sample ballot in your head already? Like, I want to vote for this guy here, that guy. Like, do you have a sample ballot in your head?
I have, but it's not complete.
Not complete.
Yes.
That's okay.
The list is not
Right.
complete.
Not okay. How take us through your thought process.
Without having to mention any names, like how did you decide like okay, I want to vote for this guy. This guy's on my list. Like how do you choose that?
How I would choose that is because I choose it through like the issues that they have, like their stance on the issues, and
yes,
especially in order of importance, like how those issues matter to me as an ordinary citizen of the Philippines. Diba? I choose them like if let's say this social issue, let's say basta any social issue affects me. So I look at the candidate, I look at what his stance is on it, and from there I do my evaluation.
If you may share with us and the audience watching, do you have any particular issue that strikes you to the core that you want to address it, or do you want a leader to address it?
Okay, in all honesty, yes, I do have an issue, and it's basically just the issue of traffic. Because
I
you
like
know,
this guy.
yeah, because you know, like as a
Thanks,
student,
everyone.
especially as a student, like you go into school every day. I have to pass by the Great Blue Wall of Mambaling, you know, the infamous Great Blue Wall near Shopwise. Yeah, 40 minutes na sad, maghuwat-huwat na sad, dugay kayo.
Pero
Something to
tinuod
be
biya
done.
gina ba? I
Yeah.
mean, we just laugh it off. Oh, it's so trivial. It's
Yeah.
so microscopic traffic compared to the national. Pero you know, it's counter progressive.
True. True.
Time is gold, and if you keep people from operating with an efficient pace, you're keeping progress. You're like limiting it.
That's true.
Simple naman unta, no? If you think, I mean, we're not in office. But I believe we've thought about this. We've have our solutions. Ikaw na tayo mga solutions. Like, you know, just from
Throwing it out there.
I have a solution, if I may share. You know what? Tanan
Bitaw.
public transport right lane. Kana lang. Bahala mo traffic sila, right lane na mo tanan.
Bitaw.
So, mapugos tanan og jeepney stop or magkanang walay mag-swerve. but that is without studies. That's just a pure opinion. But I could be wrong. Pero
Ikaw.
I think we should like, if it was like that, my solution would be just to follow what they do in Manila. How color coding every week, and then plate number coding.
Okay.
I think that would be the most efficient way, and this goes without study, so
Okay,
I'm
so
open to interpretation.
ikaw Nina, kay mukhang sa yeah, your
Wala, wala.
dream ordinance or something.
No, but I just want to say that maybe traffic also is a reflection of like development and progress, right?
Yeah,
Because
I agree.
It really
I
is
don't.
a-
It's true. In fact, I don't. Again, this is my opinion.
yeah,
I don't agree with people saying, "Oh, let's limit this guy from buying a car. Let's not make him buy." I mean, everybody go if you can afford, go for it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the laws
That's
that
true.
should serve the people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Yeah. So, para nako. I mean, there's this. I think it's Manila. One didn't verify. I just heard it from a friend there. You can help us verify if you know something about it. Comment sa section below. Na mga
bitaw.
bus drivers daw is under the payroll of an entity. So what happens there? I'm not sure kung government or private, pero what happens there? Since ilang pay is assured na per ride or per route, they don't drive as hell. They don't overtake nga murag last day on earth na. So murag relax na sila ba nga? Oh, I'm getting my pay anyway. So like, oh, I'm gonna stay in the right lane sa EDSA. If you've seen that viral picture a few days ago, like ang tanang bus na sa right lane sa EDSA and so chill. So I don't know. Maybe the leaders can help us.
Yeah.
Put
Address
rules like
that,
Oh.
especially because it's obviously something that's very like hot on people's minds today.
Yeah. Pero wrapping up, Joe.
Yeah.
Can you share one thing na, well, one or several, na do you think nga kita, mga non-politicians, non-leaders, non-office people, how can we contribute to a better nation from where we are?
A lot of the time they're like, oh, let's just leave it to the leaders na lang. Pero as citizens, I know that it's really our responsibility, Jude. Like even in the simple things pa lang, like throw your trash properly, or even just like do your duty and plant a tree. It's required by law every year. It's in the Constitution, literally there. So if we just did our part in the simple things, pick up your trash or don't smoke in places where you're not supposed to, then I think we'd make a better nation.
Yeah, you know
That's
what? This
true.
opens up a whole another topic, which is we don't really have. Sometimes it's not the laws, but it's the enforcement.
Yes, the
Right?
True.
Right? We have a ton of politicians and laws out there, but it's the enforcement. So it again boils down to the individual.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
And honestly, it like depends on the people set and their self-discipline,
Yes.
right? Because like
Yeah.
if there are laws, if there are enforcers, but the people themselves don't follow it, then it's still gonna be as it is.
Yeah.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, friends online, wherever you're watching from, in Cebu or from New Jersey or wherever in Abu Dhabi, welcome to Sunstar's Elections 2019 coverage. This here is a little break from our live reporting as our reporters are out there on the field in different places and precincts giving you the fresh and hottest news on our elections. We are here inside the studio, very
Picking the
comfortable
minds.
studio.
Chillin', picking the minds of the
our
youth.
Guests. We have 4 in line. Our first one was Nessie. Scroll back a few minutes in the timeline. And now we have Joe.
Yes.
And later on, we'll have 2 more guests, Jed and Beth.
And si kaning si Jed. ug si Beth, Nini.
Yeah, they're part of our Sunstar ZUP. So that's basically the youth section in the newspaper. If you guys want, we are there every Sunday. Please check that out. And they always share their thoughts and opinions. Yeah, and you might want to read that because it's interesting.
Right. So, one last word. Do you have any tip for our mga non-voters? One last word.
Non-voters?
How to encourage them to don't give up, guys. There's a better Philippines.
Your
coming.
message
Yeah,
to
your
the
message.
youth. This is your chance, Joe.
Guys, this is the future we're talking about. And if you're gonna kill it by electing the politicians who will steal the future, ay na lang guys, bumatay na lang ta.
Alright, so that's our little message from Joe. We're gonna hit commercials. See you with our next
Stick
guest.
around!
The breaking news is brought to you by Radisson Blue and All Prime. The breaking news is brought to you by Radisson Blue and All Prime. The coverage is brought to you by Chubi Chubi, the freshest seafood made affordable. Lingaw Lingaw, Kaon. Le Mineral, taste the freshness of mountain mineral water. Mang Inasal, solve sa sarap, solve sa saya. Cebu Cardinal Bake Shop. Ashley and Bill's Sweets and Garden. For inquiries, please call 032-487-7399 or 0945-623-1850. Metro. There's something for you at the Metro. Sunstar's Elections 2019 coverage. The Catholic Church remains a non-partisan body in the midterm elections. Cebu Archbishop Jose Palma said the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, or CBCP, does not endorse any electoral candidate. The Catholic Church role is to give guidelines to the voters.
Hi, I'm Nivino Aquinaria, a fourth-year political science student major in law and policy studies with a minor degree in economics from the University of San Carlos. First, it is important that we establish the fact that this coming midterm elections is very consequential for the future of our country. Thus, if I would have to establish a criteria for voting, I would look for three aspects of a candidate. First, a clean and competent track record. Second, a clear set of platform of governance. And third, a passion for public service. First, track record, because in that way, that would speak volume of the candidate's credibility. And furthermore, it would also help us assess on what that candidate can do in the name of service for our country. Second, a clear set of platform, because I always believe in a platform-based politics rather than the traditional politics that we have, which is primarily based on personality politics. It's an ongoing challenge for us to veer away from that traditional politics and to perhaps a shift towards a platform-based politics, because in that way, we would really be able to progress as one nation. Lastly, passion for public service, because I always believe that when there is passion, a candidate once get elected, that candidate would remain accountable to the people, would remain honest, corruption would be then prevented, and a lot of good things, perhaps good governance, would be best promoted when there is passion for public service. Perhaps I would want my candidate to focus rather on three most important issues. First is the advancement of our agricultural industry. Second would be someone who would be strong and decisive enough to push for our stance, to defend our victory over the West Philippine Sea. And lastly would be educational reforms, because I always believe in education as a tool towards national progress. And in that way, we could also empower our youth, which we go back to the line famously quoted by our national hero, that the youth is the hope of our motherland. So in that sense, we would hopefully progress as one nation if our elected officials would respond to these top three, for me, problems that we have. Hi, I'm Nivino Aquinaria, a fourth-year political science student major in law and policy studies with a minor degree in economics from the University of San Carlos. First, it is important that we establish the fact that this coming midterm elections is very consequential for the future of our.
The Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting released its guidelines for responsible voting. Vote according to the dictates of your conscience. Respect the decision of others in choosing their candidates. Seek to know the moral integrity, capabilities, and other personal qualities of the candidates you will vote for. Strive to understand the issues, platform, and programs of candidates and parties campaigning for your vote. Do not sell your vote. Do not vote for candidates using guns, goons, golds, and glitter. Do not vote for candidates tainted with graft and corruption. Do not vote for candidates simply because of utang na loob, popularity, good looks, or pakikisama. Do not vote for candidates living an immoral life. Always put the welfare of the country as top priority in choosing the candidates you will vote for. The Catholic Church remains a non-partisan body in the midterm elections. Cebu Archbishop Jose Palma said the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, or CBCP, does not endorse any electoral candidate. The Catholic Church role is to give guidelines to the voters. The Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting released its guidelines for responsible voting. Vote according to the dictates of your conscience. Respect the decision of others in choosing their candidates. Seek to know the moral integrity, capabilities, and other personal qualities of the candidates you will vote for. Strive to understand the issues, platform, and programs of candidates and parties campaigning for your vote.
And then
Two of the youth readers.
Two other youth readers.
And now we have one of the youth writers. So Beth writes for ZUP, a section in the newspaper that comes out every Sunday. So you guys please read her column. It's great. All right. So Beth, tell us more about, well, we know you, but let them know more about you.
All right. So hi, my name is Beth. I am one of the columnists here for Sunstar Cebu. I'm from Liloan. So I'm active with youth organizations. If I'm not working from 9 to 6 in Cebu City, I work with youth organizations. We annually hold a congress for young leaders. We organize projects for the communities, and yeah. So basically, I take a lot of joy. I find a lot of joy in working with young people.
So
off work hours.
Yeah, from a student to becoming like a mentor role, from doing like a mentor role. I'm sure you have your insight on how you think the young people can contribute to nation building, especially in terms of election.
Yeah.
So let's divide it into two. Ang first, para sa mga non-voters, because sila Ness and si Joe earlier were the non-voting demographic.
Population.
Yeah. Pero they offered very
Insightful,
interesting insight. Yeah. And ikaw, Liz, from someone from a mentorship role, what do you think the non-voting youth can do to contribute?
I think there's a lot that young people who are not yet in the voting age range that they can do. Like if you are a student, you can be active in your student council, in the community work that your schools do. Schools are usually mandated to have extension work. So students can get active in those areas of whatever the extension work of a university or a high school or a junior high would be. For community youth organizations, you can check with your local barangay. There should be youth programs for your barangay youth, so they can be active in whatever extension programs the barangay has.
And this is not entirely focused on the political sphere, right?
No.
Right, it could be environmental.
You can focus on solid waste. Like some of our young people who I work with, for work as in a foundation, some of them do projects for solid waste management. They address concerns of some of the rivers or creeks that are polluted, so they find ways of how to address that. They focus on cleaning up their barangay. So there are so many ways of where you can get involved in if you are not yet a voter. So just find an area that you're interested in, that you feel passionate about, and then you can do a project. Find a group of people that you want to work with.
Right. So guys, if you're watching right now and you are not a voter yet, you heard Liz, right?
Liz or Beth.
You heard Elizabeth. You
Liz
just
or
heard
Beth.
her like say a ton of stuff that you can do to actually help the country, and it's not. It doesn't need to be political. You can plant a tree. You can clean the creek. You can take care of dogs, strays. Not so like adopt a pet or something.
It's a lot of nation building more than the usual ways.
But Beth, let's move on to the voting population, the younger professionals, the voting.
Yeah. How was it when you voted? Did you vote?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Awesome.
You did.
I did. I voted at around I went at 6:30.
Oh,
very early.
Yeah, how was that experience? Tell us about it.
I voted very early. I woke up at around 5:30 just to get ready for because I knew that it might get cramped at this time, and you also have to fight with the heat. It's 40 degrees the heat index right now.
Oh
so
my goodness.
I woke up at 5. I started lining up at 6:30. I finished at 8. At exactly 8. The process was easy. It was fast. People were very accommodating. Props to the teachers.
This is in Liloan.
Yes, in Liloan. And I really, really appreciate the volunteers and the teachers who worked and helped in the process of
True.
election process.
A moment to recognize the very maayo kayo mga volunteers. That is true.
Yeah.
Ako sa I'm just gonna mention places. Ako sa Guadalupe, I'm not done yet. Balik ko 3 hours kapin to 4. You have a friend nga 5.
I have a friend who finished in 5 hours.
It sounds bad. It is bad. Pero in fairness to the volunteers, yung mga unsa gid sila, itabang gid sila, dong ari mo linya dong. Unsa senior ka. Very, they try their best. Anya init pa gid kayo.
I think it's because the precincts are because of the clusters. You get a lot. Guadalupe is a vote-rich barangay.
Yes.
So in one precinct you get a lot of clusters. So that means a lot of people, and it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, but that's good news, right? You don't see see a lot of people. So a lot of people care.
Yes,
it's an
that's
active
true.
generation these days. So that's nice to know.
Yeah.
Fruit na si mong labor. Sa generation.
And action is way better than indifference,
Right,
so you guys who aren't registered yet, please register for the next elections. Vote, exercise your right as citizens, because it's your right.
There's a recent when we looked at the figures of Comelec, Gen Z and the millennials are actually I think a little bit over 50% in terms of the voting population.
Oh wow.
So if a lot of millennials and most of the Gen Zs would be voting.
For the benefit of our audience, Gen Z is from
good.
12?
Yeah, 18 to 22-ish, I think.
Okay, and then
ang
millennials
is we're the borderline millennials. We are just right there.
Nadapit.
I'm there.
Yay! So around that age, so
that's seriously a huge jump. 50 kapin.
But that says a lot also about our youth today. They're very proactive, no?
So if this chunk of voting population, the 53% would take informed choices in terms of how they vote, that could really make a difference in terms of how our country would be run. So it's very important that the Gen Zers, the millennials, everyone who's a registered voter to really vote for this country.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw this here.
Yeah.
So, the young people, the young demographic, let's call them idealists, the bright and ideal people. Pero the older people, let's call them critical and realists. So, ikaw, sa imong experience or in your opinion, is there a clash there that you need to fix, or will the youth vote always win for what's best for the state, or will the older people temper your too young, too radical?
I think for me there has to be areas for conversation. The seasoned voters would come in with a lot of experience. They would come with a lot of knowledge. They would come with a lot of input. In the same time, I guess with the younger generation of voters, we come with the experience of having easier access to information and media.
That's true.
So I think for the older generation of voters, in some cases, they may not be able to access the right information or help in funneling through the information properly. So I think I think we need more avenues of where both generations can come in together and help have the right kind of conversations in.
Right, that's what Nessie said earlier about having an open mind and being able to listen.
Yeah.
But also, like, I just want to know your thoughts about, let's say, okay, there's a lot of information out there for the youth to digest, but that also leaves them susceptible to maybe like propaganda and all that stuff.
That's true.
How do you think they can best like avoid that, or like for you? How would you?
That's interesting because like if it's like two spectrums. Like if you're constantly faced with propaganda, that would usually mean that your sphere of where you are right now, you will be constantly filled with that kind of information and propaganda. So it might be difficult to penetrate or like have that conversation that maybe that propaganda that you're currently listening to is not the right one, because the sphere that you're in is that kind of sphere where the kind of information is constantly present. It's like if you look at the Facebook page or the feed of that person, you usually would see that kind of propaganda in that.
It's very filtered.
It's an online way of saying, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are.
Oh.
It's from something like that, because when you check a feed, also this is the sphere that surrounds this guy. Maybe not not intentional.
So maybe the question then is, how can we now have how can we help each other in terms of helping us identify what the right information would be, or how we can best go through that kind of information.
Or like creating that safe space online where that kind of misinformation doesn't touch you.
So of course I'm not going to ask you who you voted for. Pero what are the qualities you look for in a good leader?
For me, and we also can have that conversation at work in terms of how we have our programs, and even like in the extension programs we do with young people outside of work. We look at character, competence, and citizenship. For me, character looks at the values, the person you're voting for, the leader, what their values are, what they stand for. Competence is how well built the person is for the job that they're supposed to do. And citizenship is how well does the person look for the welfare for the people. How am I assured that the person that I'm voting for will look after me, the working class, the people in the community. So it's really finding a person who has a good match for all of these things, because it cannot just be competence alone. It cannot just be character alone. You have to marry all three components that you find someone who really looks out for the welfare of the people, who has the competence to do the job that you're supposed to do.
And people arrive with these conclusions with research and informed comprehension, the whole education bit. So that's also important. Sa education, the comprehension.
And regarding what you said about looking at like citizens, like how politicians look after the welfare of citizens. Maybe as citizens, it's also our duty to look after the welfare of like the whole city, right? In general, like how we conduct ourselves, how we contribute to like the development of the city. So what are your opinions on that? Like, what are nice steps that the citizens can take to like help build the nation?
I think that's one of the best questions to ask, like, especially post-elections, because like for voters, in some cases, it's okay, I will vote for you, just do your job, help me clean up the city, and that's it.
Right?
But I think the responsibility of making sure that this country works, that my barangay, my LGU would work, is that me as a citizen of wherever I come from, I do my part in nation building. May it be like making sure that my waste is segregated properly, that my waste is ready for pickup, that I follow traffic rules, that I do this and do that, and not leave the responsibility of making sure that this country or the city works is because of my leader, but it also is because of me. And lastly, we have to hold accountable our leaders, because we voted for them. So it's also our responsibility as leaders to go back to them and ask them, where are the promises, the platforms that you presented earlier.
That's true. That's true. Because I guess as citizens, but sometimes like, I mean, you know, because we're always like blaming like the government, which is like a thing also, because we do have to hold them accountable, but also like on our end we have to look like introspectively, like look at ourselves, like what are we doing to address these issues, right? It's not just like one aspect of society's fault. It's like everyone contributes. Yeah, you're
Okay,
right.
Beth, how do we start that change though? Like if there's a handful of tips that we can give our viewers, what can we do smart smart ba? Measurable, attainable, time. I forgot what the S was. Oh, kanina na. Like, what can we do? No, we just don't leave it to the politicians. We also do our part.
Okay. If you're a student, find organizations in your school where you can volunteer. Find things that you're passionate about, and start creating projects. I mean, if you're passionate about cleaning up your streets or your barangay, then work on that. I mean, there are so many ways of how young people can get involved in. And it's important, I think, that young people find mentors, like young adults or people who can help guide them, especially as they start developing projects. For us as young professionals, I think it's important that we start to have more conversations about this, like how our country is run, how things are going for our LGUs, and start asking critical questions of how can we contribute better to the LGU, to the government, to our country. I think all of us have a huge stake to play in how our country is being run. And it's not just about having conversations, but also taking actionable steps. And that's simply by having projects, coming together, having very critical conversations with friends, and how we can do things better.
Yeah, wonderfully said. Thank you very much, Elizabeth, for sharing your thoughts with us. Once again, you're watching Sunstar's Elections 2019 coverage. We have here Elizabeth. Thank you very much. Up next, we have Jed.
So stick around.
Dapat sa akong gipili, dapat angayan sa iyang posisyon o sa akong napili po akong pag tanaw sa niya nga tungod sa atong lisod karon diri sa atong nasod sa atong diri sa Cebu, masulbad sa nila nga angay sad nga ila pong masulbad aron sa ang mga tao sa diri makapuyo sa mga haruhay sad ba maginhawag tarong sadya tungod sa inspire sa kalisod bitaw. Karon mas ang kanibitang mga krudo bitaw or about sa mga transportation bitaw nato. May pinakakuan ko doon. Kay tungod sa mahal sa mga krudo, tas karon sa naglisod sa mga plite kay wag man say uminto. Pero nagagad-agad sa mi nya. Mo bitaw na nga kana akong gipili po nga kuan kanang kandidato karon. Maanda nga mahatagan sa niyang aksyon sad ba nga ila sa may matan-aw kay lisod sad biya kayo lisod kay mo panginabuhian kay kami nangundok ko pero okay ra man sad kay mabuhi sad ang pamilya at least tinarong sad ba mamo gid mong gimulo karon sa mong nagbiyahe may karon mamo gid mong gimulo kay kadaghanan sa mga kauban driver mo gini siya kay imahal sige saka gud saka taas saka nya gamay kay us-us mo na siya. Dapat sa akong gipili, dapat angayan sa iyang
kanang kandidato kamaw masaad, kamaw matuman silang gisaad. Kanang kamaw maserbisyo, kanang masaad nga maserbisyo gyud di kay sa masaad nga sayon kayo pangitaon na lisod kayo pangitaon nga kay sa tinita ng kandidato nga magsige og saad nga og patong pangitaon di na tagitan. Dini dugay na kayong mga rugas carbon usara mong ipangayon nga tigaan niyo sakto nga panginabuhian kay nangargar gud taon kay sa kuan sa kaubos among panarbaho nga amo nga naon ta mi pambasag ingon para namo karon nga may pagidaro na mi nga maabot nagpanamong edad og 60 na kanang naanta mi mapensyon na ba. So, sa wala may trabaho kompanya. Di ego ra gyapon may mangarga. Ambot lang din nila, wa jud ko kakita kalambuan kay naon tay hapit na mauman nga ni kapil din sa kandidato. Kosboro sa gobo na sad. Sogo na sa bago. Pahit kayo ang politika karon. Gora pagsaad niya mapildi na sad. Lain na sad nga. Kanang ilahang gisaad di na sad matuman. Kanang kandidato ka mao masaad.
Hey guys, you are watching Sunstars Election 2019 coverage. I'm Nini.
My name's Luis.
And we are here live in the studio with our guest, Jed. Woohoo!
Hey. All right. So this guy Jed, so like earlier si Elizabeth, si Jed also writes for our youth section for the Sunstar Cebu newspaper. It's called Zup.
It's called guys. It's called guys.
It's called Zup.
It's called
and it's
Zup,
out
guys.
every Sunday.
Please tune into that.
Basa. Kay
Yes.
lingaw
Lingaw siya musuwat,
Sige.
as in like he knows the hashtags and the stuff that I don't even know.
I hope it's a good thing.
Right, so we're doing this. If you're tuning in right now, don't forget to like, comment sa imong mga questions, suggestions below. Mga reports sa field, go ahead. We're taking a break actually from all the live reporting because
Yeah.
all our Sunstar reporters are out right now gathering the news. So we're here giving you a little break and we're doing a little talk show. We have 4 guests. Ang first 2 guests na to, mga non-voters, mga youth media consumers, si Nessie and Joe. And
Yeah.
then our next and final 2 is si Elizabeth and si Jed.
2 of our Zup columnists. Woo!
Who are
Okay.
hopefully responsible voters.
They are voters. Responsible day. Okay.
I'm not so sure. Ooh.
Okay, so before we start, maybe if our audience would like to know you more, please talk about yourself.
So, my name's Jed. I'm a fun guy. No, I'm not. So, some of my interests are music. I like drinking coffee, mostly
my guy.
horrible amounts of coffee that might stop your heart. But still coffee. By day, I work as an assistant operations manager for my family business, and by night, I do the other things I do, which is write, among other things, and watch videos about cats.
So you're a cat guy.
Cat guy.
I
Alright,
see.
So, how do you and someone, Jed, like, have you been following this midterm elections? Like, do you have your share of news on what's happening?
You know, one of the things I'm guilty of mainly with this midterm elections is the fact that I haven't been too religious about following. I haven't been too meticulous.
Okay.
I haven't done my due diligence, and I've kind of relied a lot on social media, which we know is both a good and a bad thing. So
No, but what's that called is perspective. So we do have a perspective from
They know.
another guy. So natin upat ka guest, different perspective. So let's call you the last one. So Jed, say mo pag-observe sa social media. What do you think of both national and local without naming any names? What do you think of our batch of leaders karon gunning for their positions for office?
well, first off, whoever is running, you've got really, really, really tall order, because if there's one take home I think I have from social media, it's that people are very passionate about what they feel, and the one thing they're passionate about is the fact that they want some sort of positive change.
Okay.
So for all the leaders, all your past sins have been, uncovered. I mean, every little thing that they do is under the microscope. So I guess that's my piece of advice for them. It's that they have a lot to do if they want to earn the people's trust.
And the feedback you hear or read online are usually from the young people.
They are.
Right. So, ikaw, Jed, in your opinion, as a youth writer as well, you connect with the youth.
Yes.
Okay. In what way can these young people contribute, whether they are non-voters or voters? In what way can they contribute to nation building?
Well, if you don't see it, I have a cheat code here. I named basically, I can think of 2 examples off the top of my head of what youth can do.
All right.
I think the first would be to study well, because I know education, gets a bad rap sometimes. Na it's like, oh, you know what, you're being educated by whatever powers that be,
The
but
system.
by the system or something. But when it comes right down to it, I feel that studying well doesn't just mean an education. It means doing your own research, which I apparently didn't do. It means learning to ask yourself the hard questions, difficult questions that make you reconsider your points. It forces you to have conversations with people, I think, that you would normally be averse to if it only means that your opinion is wrong. So for me, studying can open up a huge avenue because the youth being the youth, the one thing I think they have going for them is that they have all the vigor of life. They've got all this energy.
Right.
And by studying, you kind of learn how to direct that energy towards good endeavors.
Right.
You got a lot more times to, to try kung musuway ka this endeavor. If it doesn't work out, you can try again and again and again. So that's one of the things. And I think the second is something that Beth said kanina, which is to join initiatives to move your city forward. So that can vary for everyone. Some people find they would want to do donations and drives and that. My opinion, it's not that I'm making a shameless plug. It's if you want to improve, if you want to join, like I like music, so I'm trying to get myself more involved in the music scene of the of Cebu, which is why I dropped my hat recently in an audition. That's just an example. Or if I'm passionate about coffee, maybe some workshops. If only that will help the city grow.
Yeah, no, this here's the thing. No, we're talking right now because of the elections, because of politics.
Yeah.
But I grew up studying in Catholic school, and there's this quote from a saint, si Dominic Savio, and he says, Dominic Savio or Bosco, John Bosco. Youth mo tong school good, and it goes, do your ordinary duties extraordinarily well. So
I
like what you were saying,
I like that.
music mangani, kape, planting a tree, not that these things are trivial, but just do it excellently and you'll make a mark.
I think in relation to that, I hope I don't quote this one, but it's Martin Luther King who had a quote similar to that. Na if you're to be a street sweeper, you sweep it as if you're sweeping, the streets of heaven. That kind of thing, that kind of mindset.
I'm sure they will be doing a lot of sweeping tomorrow.
Oh boy. Oh yes.
So I
yes.
will
All the flyers.
Pakpak na ko daan sa mga hardworking street sweepers tomorrow. Mga heroes nga di kayo matagad.
Bitaw.
Yeah.
Props to you guys. All right, so okay, you're very involved in like the youth mindset, right?
Whoa.
So
I like to hope so.
how important do you think like the youth are in like nation building and their contributions to nation building?
Oh, well, I think that they're a very, very, very important part. If sometimes to the point where they underestimate their own importance. It's the thing is the youth, especially who are on the street, they see things that normally we as yuppies or certain adults, yuppies. There are certain things that they get to see that sometimes adults just get jaded about.
Right.
Or accept na gud nila nga apart naman yun na that and sometimes you need these people with fresh views, and you need to be willing to accept it sometimes nga wait, maybe this person has a point, diba? Maybe we can do it differently this time. Yeah.
We've been talking, this whole discussion centered around politics and the youth. But the more that we discuss these things, I believe it's like a 50-50 give and take relationship with the older generation.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? The youth can do their part. All right, the youth are in charge of pushing.
Yeah.
And then if you go too far, and then we'll let the older people let's temper that a bit.
Chill
Slow
out.
down.
Slow down.
So for our viewers sa diha nga nanglain kay puro sa rabatan no namo pasabot. Guys, wala nga namo gi discount, no? Everyone is important. Everyone has to do their role, their part.
Plays a part in society.
Whether you're 18 or 80 years old, if you can vote,
for sure.
vote because we need that.
For sure.
Vote.
That's true.
Ang importante kay mobutang.
Oh,
Lagi.
Importante.
It's really important. But
Yeah.
like, okay, so in terms of nation building, since that was our topic a while ago, can you comment maybe on like what you think, in your perspective, what the state of, not the state of the nation at Just Hub, but just the state of like the environment is? Like, state of the nation, how is it
Right,
like for you, or the state of the city, or whatever you see around you?
You know, I think it's something that Luis was saying. What I have to share about the State of the Nation address is closely related to that. It's come to a point where I'd like to say that if I had to give it a grade from 1 to 10, you know, probably gonna get a lot of heat, but I'd like to give it somewhere around a 5. If only because of the fact that we were talking about that give and take relationship, the 50-50 relationship.
Okay.
Because, you know, we can say all we want about the government. We can say all we want about certain ideas and certain things that have been or have not been passed down by the government. But at the end of the day, it's still up to us, I guess, as people, to lift up our own mindsets. Because sometimes it comes right back down to, would you want, it comes right back down to, I guess, doing things as you would want it to be done unto yourself. I'll give an example on that.
Sige.
So, kuan, when you say that, you know, the government isn't doing enough, or, you know, there should have been enough change. What's up with that? Ask yourself, if you saw a used na Starbucks na cup on the road, what would you do? Would you pick it up and throw it to the nearest trash can? Even if it meant nagunit ang cup, you know, and looking like a weirdo, we're looking for a trash can, or would you just let it go na? Ay, huga na bitaw ang Cebu. What's one more trash? So, you know, I give it a 5 because I feel that yes, there's more government can do, but there's also more we can do to lift our own mindsets from the fact na sahe mo think maguta nga third world country naman ni, this isn't gonna get anywhere. Yes, but you also have to look at the bigger picture. Now, by doing this little thing, you're leveling up your mindset from, you know, from what it is.
There's really a distinguishment between like action and indifference. Right?
There is. And I think the worst thing that could ever happen is indifference, because indifference means you just don't care already. So
Just give up.
yes. So whether there's a positive or a negative response to people, I'm inclined to listen to both sides, because at least both of their responses show some passion for something. Because an indifference is, you're like, you know, you toss it up, you pack it up, you go home. So there, I guess that's the commentary I would have about the state and the political atmosphere that we have.
So
right
I guess the message that we want here is we wanna, the message that we bring should be reinforced again and again and again. It's not like a 3-year thing, because we get so passionate about these things every 3 years. but
Yeah.
tomorrow or a week from now, you know, we don't really know.
It's just the same as
like
any.
what you mentioned, you just see trash.
agree.
Yeah, there. Share lang ko, like kadit lang. Because one of the things that I want to do, because I commute, right? So I want to go sa jeepney stop. That's all. I'm gonna do a good example. Just go for the jeepney stop. But then ma-discourage ko kasi maunhan ko pirmi sa mga tao nga dili mo jeepney stop. So that's an example right there. So ikaw Jed, what's mong tip? Like in that scenario, like I want to do the right thing, but I lose. Kay daghan kay wala gubat. So what's the mindset there? What's the solution there personally? Yeah.
If I'd like to also share an experience I have. It's usually my one pet peeve here is lines. Big lines. Kanang pila ta ba? I mean, kanina, thank goodness, the whole voting thing, it was really good. People lined up. We didn't have much problems. It was good.
If I may ask, asa ka nga precinct?
Banilad.
Okay.
It took about an hour, 30 minutes. Wasn't so bad. It was all good in the hood. We got to go home pretty early. But actually, most of the times, kana mga lines, it's you know, people, it gets like that. Now you're lining up properly, and then you have like, you know, person A, person B, who kind of like cut without really cutting, or way. It's our turn. So, you know, to that, to prevent yourself from getting discouraged, I guess the one thing that I remind myself is we have to think of the bigger picture, because if we give up, if we don't think of the bigger picture, if we ourselves can't stand up for that, how can we preach that message to others? Na if we're willing to bring the message na okay, sige, let's line up, let's do, let's pick up our own trash and everything, and people will be like, oh, so you're only in it when it's good. But diba? But then the moment nga mapildi, you're just the moment maalkansi ka, you're just like everyone else. So yeah, so I guess the idea is to think of the bigger picture na your message is something you have to pass down to other people, and just keeping that in mind, keeping the fact that shucks, Merg, you know what? I can't look at someone in the eye and honestly, preach this thing if I don't practice it well enough myself, even when it means nga maalkansi ko sometimes.
Right. So,
all right, guys. So, thank you so much, Jed. That was a mouthful, but so much to like.
A virtual round of applause for
that
Jed
was
right
great.
here, and not just for Jed, but for Nessie, Joe, Elizabeth, who were with us earlier.
Yeah, took the time to be
Right.
with us and like share their thoughts and ideas with us because of these elections. So you guys are watching Sunstar's election 2019 coverage, and we've finally wrapped up our final talk. Representing the youth of today, one of the voters, Jed. Yay!
All right, guys. So, thank you for watching. Don't forget to share this video,
Please.
react, leave your thoughts on the comment section below. But more importantly, if you haven't voted yet, go out there and vote. My name is Luis.
And I'm Nini.
And you've just watched Sunstar's Elections 2019 coverage. Good day.
Litan. Kung magdedesisyon ang botante na bumoto sa EAPP, kailangan lamang niyang sagutan at pirmahan ang authorization form at ipresenta ang kanyang PWD o Senior Citizen ID o anumang valid ID.
Pagkatapos ay kukunin naman ng EAPP support staff ang balota mula sa kanyang presinto, dala ang authorization form at valid ID ng botante. Pag nakuha na ito, ibibigay sa botante na nasa EAPP para makaboto. Matapos makaboto ay ibabalik ang balota sa presinto kung saan ito nakuha. Ang mga napunang balota ay papasok sa VCM ng Electoral Board bago magsara ang botohan.
Ang botohan sa EAPP ay mula 6 a.m. hanggang 2 p.m. lamang. Isang mensahe mula sa COMELEC, Person with Disability and Senior Citizen Committee.
focus na ha. Kaya yung focus na
Ate, test ang mic.
louder lang.
Okay. We have Makita siya?
Ginaw, Dok.
Hello, mayong hapon. Discuss karon sa ang sa elections. I have here with me in the studio Dr. Zoe Maria Sanchez. Mayong hapon, Miss Sherry, as an associate professor at the University of the Philippines in Cebu and associate professor of Karapatan, Central Visayas. Good afternoon. You're watching the continuing coverage of Sunstar of the ongoing 2019 elections. Our reporters are out in the field going around Cebu, giving us reports all throughout the day. But here with me in the studio here in Cebu City is Dr. Phoebe Zoe Maria Sanchez. She's the associate professor at the University of the Philippines in Cebu, and she's also chairperson of Karapatan, Central Visayas. Doc, welcome.
Maayong hapon, Miss Cherry.
Welcome to Sunstar.
Salamat sa imuhang pag-abi-abi o pagpa-imbitar palingkod nako dinhi sa Sunstar.
Okay na kay mga pangutanan nimo, Doc, about kuan kanang what is your assessment of the conduct of the electoral campaign karong 2019?
Perting gubutag yun. This is the first time in my study of Cebuano politics where I observe that it seems like murder has been a public policy for anti-crime. Instead of anti-crime, we're manoog greater crimes. And then the synchronized enhanced managing police operations were actually implemented in time of the election period. So the 45 days supposedly gun ban is not a gun ban because you have a lot of killings going on. San Fernando, Dinubagay, you have even Negros with 20 farmers being killed or murdered. So ang ato ang panahon sa election, murag kulbaan ang tao kay nanggawas man ang mga mahait nga hinagiban. So kanang the norm, nahimo siyang normative, no? Ang kaning makanunayon nga reports of killings. Then it's not just usa, pero daghan ba? Nga every day na ay duha dito mamatay, na ay tulo diri, na ay lain sang duha dito sa lain-laing dapit sa atong nasod. So for women, for us who are living today in this norm or culture of killing, mura man ni siya og indirect way of femicide kay mahadlok in taon ang mga kababayan ani ana.
Pero Doc, is this related necessarily to the elections or nagsagol na po sa drug war?
Actually, ang program sa kanang drug war, mura ba siya tungtungan lang gud. It's just a it's just a mask for asserting an anti-democratic norm. Kay ang ato ang system for democratization, hatagan ta nato og panahon makareflect ang mga tao labi na sa election period, no? Aron maka timbang-timbang ang mga tao sa ilahang kinsang ilang pilion. So supposedly imbis ilaylo una ang katong mga program sa killings na kuha na hinuon na muddled na nya maglisod sa tag-identify kay sa magduda ta mga politiko, mga pulis ang nangamatay. So labi na kung makita na tong kargadong namatay ang kontra sa administrasyon, so unsa man na siya? Is that a way to manufacture consent and to sell off public, the moral panics as a public program? Kay nag-moral panic lagi ta, gumikan aning grabing drogas. Unya, wala man gibalaod ng ingon sad nga kung kriminal ang tao, automatic siya patyon. Samot na kumingkag ang drug addict tanan kriminal. Lisura na, that's not scientific.
So
You
it's a
must
different-
observe in, proper way.
Okay. Kini ko ano, what impact will this midterm election have on the bigger presidential election coming 3 years from now? That will be in 2022.
Yeah. Ang mid-year elections is actually a way of assessing the past 3 years of administration and to appraise or to evaluate whether there are things that administration needs to rectify. Pananglitan, ang iyang programa, sakto pa ba iyang program? Kibaw ra ba ta sa program pagsugod ani? Undangon ang contractualization katong endo pero wag gyud maundang. Ningunta nga kanang ang drug war in 3 months lang. Pagkatitiod, una 6 months. Karon, almost 3 years na. Nahuman na ba ang drug? Is it really a war on drugs or a war for drugs? We have to assess that one. For administration, the usual way is the midterm election will try to find out kung ang iyang programa hapit na ba siya mahuman, nakabot ba niyang programa, kuwang pa ba iyang budget, angay ba dungagan iyang budget, o angay ba i-revamp ang iyahang structure, ug ilisa ng mga tao nga napadagan siyang program sa more effective nga mga tao, or ang program mismo angay ba niyang ilisan para inigpadayon na niya sa sunod nga term niya o sa next 3 years iyang mapadayon. So pananglitan, ang iyahang charter change, kumusta na? Mao ni siya ang mga dagko kay key components. Ang iyang train law ug taxation system niya na rationalize ba gyud ang taxation? Ay ang omnibus franchising guidelines, sakto ba gyud ni siya? Angay ba gyud i-phase out ang jeep ug ilisan og Eurocars for the monopoly of some or for public participation? Angay ni siyang midterm election para sa mga tao o para sa naglingkod sa gobyerno aron ma-assess or mahatagan og pagbalik-an-aw unsa na ang dagan og angay ba ipadayon o angay ba iundang.
Okay. Wrong area. And then you have probably they're overspending in campaign spending. I'm just speculating. I really